How you doing? These are my top picks for the new Saga sector. So you want to have Angela and Odin synergy on your team. Make sure Odin is at least a 4-star. And you want to have Galen in your team as well. So you can make Angela a herald. So she can become, her special attacks will become unblockable. The end. Thank you. So I might make a short video or doing that because I know not everybody wants to spend like whatever how long this video is gonna take to watch the whole thing. So if you want that, that's pretty much it. You know, I know a couple of questions is gonna come from people that are gonna ask, what if I don't want to use Angela? Okay, so let's answer that first question. So I just don't have time, or I do have the time right now at least, to make an hour video, but I just don't want to make this an hour video talking about every champion in the game. That's for the Saga Sector Incursion. Uh, but uh, I'm just not going to do that. If you have a champion that you would like to use, let me know and I'll tell you the best hacks for them. But so I'm just going to tell you, just use Angela. I said this 3 years ago. Angela is without a doubt the best champion in Incursion when Odin Synergy came into the game. Okay? So she can solo any fight. I've gone to Zone 100 plenty of times with Angela, even as a 5-star. Okay? So there hasn't been any fight that Angela cannot solo. Can I come up with a node that she cannot solo? Of course. Go up against Absorbing Man with Tyranny node. What else? Tyranny with personal space duration in like Zone 15. You know, you're not gonna solo that fight with Angela. Maybe unless you're MSD or something. But throw in aggression regeneration, and that's like, I don't care if you're MSD, you're not gonna solo that fight. Okay, you know. So you throw in another node like Power Shield. It doesn't even have to be Absorbing Man. It could be any other champion you're facing against, and you're not gonna solo that fight with Angela with those nodes. At least not with the nerf hacks. So let's talk about the other thing that really kind of makes me sad to talk about it, but I do have to say it. Is what if I don't have a 7-star Angela? So I've said this before many times in my channel, and I made a video on it talking about it. You don't need 7 stars for like 99% of the quests in this game. Okay, and the fun fact, the last time I completed Saga Sector Zone 15, I actually went past Zone 15, but last time I went to Zone 15 was using 5-star Angela. Okay, 5-star Angela. If you don't believe me, let me show you. And this is the only time I ever went to Zone 15. And as I mentioned, I went past that, even past that. I do want to say, if you're going to use a 5-star, you're just going to have to spend revives or units. And this is what I did here as well. I did spend revives and units, but as I mentioned, I could have probably used Aegon for sure on this fight. I don't know how well he would have done. And but he's not fully ramped up when it comes to Aegon. So definitely at Aegon 999, this would have been not that hard with Aegon, considering that he has class advantage and he's a 6-star. But you can just show you why I used Angela here. This is a 5-star, by the way, and this is Zone 15 in the Saga sector. So this is just a tiny fraction of Angela's power with Odin synergy, okay? Let's see how fast did Angela do this fight. And keep in mind, this is a 5-star, by the way. And this is only a tiny fraction of Angela's power because it's Zone 15 in Saga sector. So another reason why I use Angela is because this guy, I don't forgot his name, but he always complains about the game. Like, oh, you have to be lucky or you got to be a whale to be good at this game. And somewhat true, I guess. So something I want to say too is these hacks have been nerfed. Let's talk about, it's mostly the Bob Cornucopia has been nerfed. Just keep that in mind. And Tide of Combat has been nerfed to the ground, especially when it comes to Angela. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So Keep It Going also has been nerfed to the ground. So these hacks have been nerfed. So that's we'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, that's it. As you can see here, let's go fast forward. Oh shoot. I went past zone 15, but you don't have to if you're only playing for rewards. You can just go to zone 15 and that's going to be good enough. Just a reminder. So Kabam did bring back some old hacks. Let's see what they say. Let's see how they like to spin things around. So for this sector, several of the new hacks will focus on relics along with few changes made to some existing hacks to better weave relics into hack sets. Distinct changes include, so just imagine if Kabam was actually honest or transparent, how much people would trust them. I don't know if they had a vote, how many people trust Kabam. I would guarantee you it's less than 50%. I won't be surprised if it was less than 25% that actually trust Kabam, about being transparent and being honest. So they basically nerfed the hacks, and you got to be dumb enough to actually not know that. I mean, you're watching this video, so you're well informed, at least that's for sure. But I don't know too much about At the Ready. What is this? I think they changed it. It was different before. Now it's shock, bleed, or rupture. That you gain an extra second. For the striker, I'm not really sure. I don't really use it. I think it's okay, but it's not like one of the best hacks you can use. Special counter. They did nerf it too. As you can see before, basically, if you have a relic, you'll get 3 prowess. Okay. Now it's only 1, and not only that, it's like it only max stack is only 10. Before it didn't have a max stack when it comes to special counter, but and then you would get 3 if you have a relic. So they nerfed special counter to the ground. Like I already mentioned, they nerfed Tide of Combat as well to the ground. So now this is not accurate though. I think that there's a max stack of 10, which will go into the hacks later in the game. You can only get 4 at a time max now, and then max stack of 10. So they nerfed Tide of Combat to the ground. Like I mentioned, I wish Kabam was really just honest and transparent. Like they could have just said, "Oh, we had to nerf some hacks because Angela's just too broken for Incursion." Why can't you just be honest about it? Or you can arguably say like Silk is arguably too, like, some champions in the game are too powerful with some hacks, arguably, like Silk with Tide of Combat. But really, people think that Silk is broken. They either they don't know what broken is, or they just haven't seen what a broken champion looks like. And you'll see a few of them in a little bit. But they could just have been honest, or I think I would have been okay to accept that we had to nerf some hacks, not just because of Angela. It's just because it's just not healthy for the game. But the only thing I don't like is why nerf the hacks? Why, like you're really just going up against opponents with like a million health pool in Incursion. That literally makes no sense, Kabam. A million health pool in Incursion. Like, why don't they just not nerf the hacks? Like, not nerf. Don't nerf. That makes sense. Like, increase the health pool to 100 million, okay? That's still gonna be a problem for Angela. She's still gonna be broken. I mean, like, she can literally do 1 billion damage in like under a minute. That's a 5-star with a 3-star Thor relic, and some people probably don't believe that. But like I said, you haven't seen what broken is until you'll see some fights when I mean by broken. Okay, so let's just look at some gameplay. Pre-nerf, just for fun, what broken is. So these are the pre-nerf hacks from Angela. Pretty much pre-nerf Angela. So I just want to point out a couple of things. This is the pre-nerf Angela, pre-nerf hacks. Okay, just keep that in mind. So what is this? So when it comes to her regen, it's still in part of the game. Uh, I didn't really look at the nodes here, but I do believe it's heal and hide. When you play as much incursions that I have, you can pretty much kind of tell what the hacks, the nodes are just by looking at their, their description or their picture. So look at this. She really religion from 1 to 100% in like 5 seconds. That's heal and hide. So she can still do that in the game if you go far enough. And I do have pretty much all these fights that I show you are pretty much like past zone 15. Because with the, obviously I showed you one where she went to zone 15, but those are the pre-nerf hacks. And I'm just going to be forward with you. If you're only going to zone 15, she's not going to be broken, okay, when it comes to Angela with the nerf hacks. So, I mean, I could show you zone 15 fights with Angela, but it's just like, it's boring, okay? Like, that's why every fight you're going to see is going to be way past zone 15, okay, except one, I guess, which is kind of, you'll see what I mean by boring. Like, you watch a basketball game or like a slam dunk contest, you're not going to be like excited to see a person just dunk the ball, right? You want them to like do a 360 windmill dunk or 360 between the leg dunk or something like that. Even though it's not realistic for the average person to do, you still want to rather watch that because it's entertaining, even though it's not realistic. So that's why I'm just trying to say all the fights you see, it's way beyond past zone 15. So these are the pre-nerf hacks, keep that in mind. So this is one of my favorite ones, power shield node, and you'll see what I mean. So this fight, if you added tyranny on this fight, as well as personal space regeneration, aggression regeneration, you're not going to solo this fight, and power shield, you're not going to solo this fight with the post-nerf hacks. But even pre-nerf hack, she could still solo it. Keep in mind, this is a 5-star with a 3-star Thor relic. Did over 4 million damage with a 3-star Thor relic. Okay. Now you get to see what broken is, and you haven't. I just started. Okay. You haven't really. Okay. This one you could really see what a broken champion looks like. If you're not sure what a broken champion looks like, take a look at this fight. Okay. And if you don't believe me that Angela could do a billion damage as a 5-star with 3-star Thor relic, check out this fight, okay? As you notice, the first special attack didn't really do as much, okay? Look at the second one with the pre-nerf hacks. Boom! Did you see that? Over 175 million. If this opponent had a billion health full, the next special attack would have done like a billion, okay? And this was over 4 million health, but really importantly, she did over 177 million in like 15 seconds. Yeah, she can probably do a billion health pull in like 30 seconds. That's a 5-star. That's what broken is. If you're not sure what a broken champion is, that's what it is, okay? And this is not the highest damage I've done in Incursion. Okay, I've done 345 million with a 5-star Angela. And I made a video saying that she could have done 10 things she could have done in that fight to increase her damage. I really believe like a 5-star Angela, maybe a 5-star rank 4 Thor relic, max sig, but 5-star Angela can do like a billion damage. Okay, so imagine a 7-star rank 4 Angela with a 6-star rank 3 max sig Thor relic. Odin synergy not really matter so much. Yes, you want to have 6-star Odin or 7-star Odin to maximize your damage, but it doesn't really matter as much. But definitely the Thor relic, I do think it makes a big difference. Obviously, you need Odin synergy at least a 4-star. But like a 7-star rank 4 Angela with a 6-star rank 3 max sig Thor relic, I think could have done the damage cap, which is 2.1 billion. And I think that's what Kabam was afraid of. If Angela was hitting the damage cap of 2.1 billion, that would just break the game, of course. But that's why they nerfed the hacks. But this one, yeah, check out this take a look at this fight. As you can see, this Rhino has over 5 million health. Okay, these are pre-nerf hacks. Keep that in mind. I just want to show you guys this because why not? It's just for fun and how they nerf the hacks. So what hacks do I have? Just keep in mind, I have buff cornucopia, I have tide of combat, I have defense cascade, and they did nerf defense cascade as well, which is unfortunate. We'll take a look at it later. They really did really nerf Angela big time when it comes to the hacks in the game. So did you see that? 93 million health. Let me just show you how many title look at that. I had, oh shoot. See, look at that. How many Furies I have? 25. That's mostly from Tide of Combat, okay? Before, when you combine buff cornucopia and Tide of Combat, it's just so crazy. She's just so broken. I mean, balance. Okay, come on now. She wasn't balanced at all. But yeah, you can see how broken she was. Now, when it comes to Tide of Combat, you can only get 10, max stack of 10, and you can only get 4 at once. So they really just gutted Angela when it comes to Tide of Combat. So what hacks was I using again? Let's go to this one. Oh, what about this one? I want to know how many Furies I got. Maybe less? I don't know. Oh, the same. I'm pretty sure you can do more than 25. Look at that. 175 million. Okay. So if you're not sure what a broken champion is, take a look at that. So this is a 5-star as well, as you can see. So what hacks was I using here? Let's just go to a different one. But let's go to this one. So what hacks was I using? Let's go to here. What hacks was I using? I was using, again, I would call the ultimate hacks until they nerfed it. Defense Cascade, Tide of Combat, buff cornucopia, and keep it going. As I already mentioned earlier, they nerfed keep it going to the ground, so you're not going to be able to see that much damage. And really here, you can still do this in the game, okay? When it comes to her regen, and this is aspect of nightmares, by the way, and she's about to look at that, she's out regen aspect of nightmares, okay, and she can still do that in the game if you go far enough in incursion. So it's just insane how crazy it is. I never, 13 seconds fight for this health pool for Angela pre-nerf, it wasn't really like that big of a deal. But when you look at the node, what the node is, loose cannon. So basically my damage is reduced by half. Okay, keep that in mind, reduced by half. And what's our health pool? Almost 3.9 million health. Okay, if you just go by based on our health pool, this would have been like over 7.7 million health solo in 13 seconds. Or even really, if you had higher health pool, it would have been like close to over 11 million damage, but because you could see I did 5.6 million damage when it comes to my basic attack, and all I did was basic attack. I didn't even throw my special attack, dude. That's how broken she was before the nerf. So it is unfortunate. So this is the pre-nerf hacks. As you can see, she's just not broken anymore. If you're this is kind of close to zone 15, not that far off, but later on we're gonna see some kind of like arguably broken Angela, but you have to go way farther than zone 15 in incursion. So this is Tyranny node. Definitely this fight is could be faster if Gwenpool was being passive here. So this fight could have maybe been like 5 or 6 seconds faster. But this is Tyranny node. As I mentioned, she can solo every fight incursion, even Tyranny, but you want to have Fury Burst. I think that's the most important hack to have with Angela, which we're going to talk about later, what hacks you want to use with her. So I mentioned this fight could have been faster. Keep in mind, I'm using the 6-star as well compared to the 5-star earlier. But this is the post-nerf hacks when it comes to Angela. And it's funny because I did a fight with pre-nerf hacks Angela against small man. Okay, it was against small man. It took me like 21 seconds or something like that. It was in the 20-second time. Uh, he had obviously he's a harder defender than Gwenpool, and he had a higher health pool, like 2.1 million health pool. When it comes to Wallman, with a tyranny node, it was tyranny node. It was like 20 something seconds. I was like, you know what? I posted the video and I end up deleting it because it took so long for like 2.1 million health pool, and like yeah, that doesn't make Angela looks broken. 2.1 million in like 21 seconds, and like with a 5-star and a 3-star Thor relic with tyranny node, that doesn't look broken. So I end up deleting it. So it's just crazy. So this is the nerf version, keep that in mind. But like I said, this is tyranny node. You can solo every fight in the game, even tyranny node with the fury burst. So these are the hacks. Unfortunately, they got rid of preferential offense. There is called which we're gonna talk about later. I think it's very similar to perpetual offense. Which gonna be talked about later, but it's not as good. I don't like it at all. I do have mutually assured destruction. I think that's a big W for Kabam to make. This is such a big plus for pretty much every champion in the game can benefit from it. Agila doesn't really need the mutual assured destruction because you could see from perpetual offense how much special attack she's doing. We haven't seen it yet with the nerf hacks, but we'll show you later. But not only that, she has her own regen, so it does help her, but she doesn't really need it. But for other champions in the game, mutual assured destruction hack, it's just like a W. It's a great hack to have for so many champions in the game. Obviously, second chance pretty much helps everybody. I've even used that with Hercules as well. The second chance, it definitely helps. Not so much with Hela though. Hela, when you go far enough incursion, that's like practically that hack doesn't exist for Hela. So these are the hacks I was using. Fury Burst I think is the most important hack. So as I mentioned, stun 50% stun duration is really helpful for Angela, and then increasing your special attack by 3 times also helps, but really stun effect duration really will help Angela as well. As I mentioned, they got rid of preferential offense. They'll probably bring it back. I don't know, and they'll just nerf it. I'm not sure, but preferential offense is not there. But there's another hack that you can use, which I don't really like. I probably would prefer buff cornucopia instead, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So this is, keep in mind, this is now, you can kind of see, you go far enough in Incursion, this is zone 97. I am using the 6-star as well with the 3-star Thor relic. You can kind of see this is where Angela gets to the point where she's just, arguably broken, I would say. So let's just see how fast she can take down this health pool. What is it, like 3.6 million health pool? Oh yeah, how fast was that? 11-second fight. Okay, I do think that Thor relic makes a difference. Keep in mind, now I'm using the 5-star. Okay, I have tyranny node here. Angela can take it, but I'm just gonna have Hela do it. I think this is without a doubt the 2 best champions in Incursion. Someday I'll pass zone 100 with these champions, push the limits how far they can go. But we're not here to watch Hela. This is just a comparison between Hela and Angela, who's the best champion in Incursion. I'm just going to tell you something. If you don't want to hear it now, I would just pause the video or press forward or mute, because I'm just going to tell you, spoiler alert, Angela wins against Hela. And like I said, Angela is the best champion in Incursion without a doubt. Without hacks, I would probably give it to Hela. So once you pass zone 110 in Incursion, there's no more hacks. So I would definitely say Hela is better without hacks. But with hacks, Angela is better. So let's talk about, we're almost there anyways. This is almost done. So I was going to show this later, and you got spoiler alert, you got to see it ahead of time. But so this is now what do you call this, Angela with the 5-star, but notice I don't have class advantage, and this is actually a lower zone, like zone 96, so less potency. But this time I'm using a 5-star Thor relic. Okay, keep that in mind. And rank 1 though. This one is only at rank 1, but sig 20. So I do Thor Relic and I use them, and you can see it's almost the same damage. This fought like 12 seconds, okay? Almost the same amount of time, but this time I was using a 5-star Thor Relic with a 5-star Angela compared to a 6-star. And it was pretty much the same amount of time without class advantage, okay? So I do think that Thor Relic makes a difference, okay? So this is, unfortunately, I don't, I already zone 100 in here. So I don't have preferential offense, and you won't have preferential offense anyways, but I do have the hacks I was using. I had preferential offense here with Angela, which you just saw the last fight. So I really like the special attacks consume 20% less power, the special refund. That's really helpful for Angela. And stun effects, as I mentioned, is great. Increase 50% stun duration, so you can do a medium, and then do a 5-hit combo with Angela, so you get that 2 extra hits. So I like that stun effect duration as well. So I want to mention something also, is when it comes to Angela, I don't know if she's been nerfed, but I just want to show you something. This is basically MCOC Encyclopedia without any rare hacks, okay? She basically has no rare hacks whatsoever. So he has no rare hacks, so basically practically has no hacks. This barely increases his damage a little bit. You can see this is zone 107. Look at this, 179,000 damage from a medium attack with practically no rare hacks. Okay, no rare hacks actually, and with only 2 furies, it did 179,000. Keep in mind, Hela has physical resistance as well, which is pretty strong, which I think is underrated. 179,000 without damage mastery as well. Okay, and this one, 204,000 damage with just 3 fury buffs. Okay, and keep in mind, Groot has 3 physical resistance. It's not as strong as Hela, but with 3 physical resistance, she did over 204,000. This is coming from MCOC Encyclopedia. As you can see, zone 108. So basically, he only has 2 hacks left: buff, upgrade fury, and attacks enhancement, and he did over 204,000 from a medium attack. Okay, I do think he is using a 6-star Thor Relic, and you can see here it really makes no sense. I don't know if Angela got nerfed or the Thor Relic makes such a big difference. As you can see from the here, she's using a 6-star Thor Relic. Here I'm running damage mastery with 9 furies, and look at my medium attack. It did 204,000, like with a 3-star Thor Relic. Okay, and look at this. It did practically the same. And I have class advantage as well in damage mastery, 9 furies, and it did the same amount from the medium attack. I don't really know if Angela got nerfed. This was quite a long time ago when it comes to this gameplay from MCOC Encyclopedia, or the 3-star Thor Relic made a big difference because I'm using a 3-star compared to a 6-star Thor Relic. So as you can see, he's using a 6-star Thor Relic. So for anybody say that Silk is broken in Incursion, they have no idea what broken is, okay? This is the only time I got far in Saga sector, okay? And I pretty much, I was using Silk, and I'm also using Boost as well. I got to zone 12, okay? I would have kept going, but I ran out of units. So if people think Silk is broken, they haven't seen what broken is, okay? Okay, I mean, Angela, you know, this is just already talked about this. People, let's just go about it. So to help combat this new challenge, we are rotating updated incursion hacks that highlight the new classes of champions that can be brought into the saga, in addition to some redesign for old ones that didn't fit well into this round of incursion. So basically they're saying that it wasn't healthy for the game, or they made it too broken, so that's why they nerfed it. Basically that's what they're saying here, okay? So yeah, that's it. So Angela without hacks is arguably, I would say, more broken than Silk post-nerf, pre-nerf. Silk pre-nerf hacks compared to Angela with no hacks, Angela is more broken. Because when you think about it, damage-wise, they're pretty much on par with Angela without hacks, and she has insane regen, and then she's immune to nullify, can counter auto block, and she's immune to damage over time. So I can definitely say, when you go far enough in Incursion, you know, even without hacks, Angela is more broken than Silk pre-nerf hacks. So keep in mind, Silk has been nerfed as well because they nerfed title combat. So it is unfortunate. So let's go to the game. Let's talk about the hacks. So let's go. So it looks like this is my third time, I believe, trying out if they switched it. Yeah, see, it's the same. So it looks like this is going to be permanent. I would choose, even though they nerfed title combat, I think this is the best one for her. They also nerfed defense cascade, which is unfortunate. It is what it is, but you know what, even though title combat is nerfed, I think it's still going to be decent for Angela. As you know, as you can see, it's now a max stack of 10. Before, it didn't have any it had no limit for how many furies you can get, as well as you can only get 4 furies can be gained at once. So you're not gonna see Angela with 25 furies like you saw earlier. So I would pick title combat. In the next one, so they don't have professional offense. I like second chance. I would pick that, but I would pick for safety reasons, and I would pick Fury Burst for sure. I think that's the most important hack, and Rage into combat. Rage into combat maybe not so much because they remove professional offense, but definitely Fury Burst. You really want to have Fury Burst. I would probably rather have Cornucopia since they remove professional offense, but this one I'm talking about, this one is pretty much similar to professional offense, but it's not quite as strong. But when you have a relic, you're gonna get 2 prowess buffs. Also, it's not permanent, and you have to knock down the opponent. That's the only thing I don't like about this. I personally would rather have buff Cornucopia because there's a chance you can gain a prowess buff there. So if I would have to pick which hacks I would pick in order, I would say Fury Burst number 1. Then I would say second chance is number 2. Then I would go with let's see, Bob Cornucopia is number 3, and then number 4 is Rage into combat. You do have 5 hacks you can choose if you're planning to go all the way to zone 15 or even zone 8. You're gonna have 5 hacks by then. It's mutually exclusive. So those are the 5 hacks. Those are the orders I would choose them from. So that's it. So like I said, I mentioned I would pick Fury Burst. This is the most important hack to have. So this hack, you can be able to take on Tyranny with Angela. So there you go. Thank you.